My name is Maura Matheny, and this is my final UDL Solutions presentation. All together now, creating academic content alignment in a skill-based lab course. My target course is BPA 4710, the Advanced Petite Gâteau and Pastry Buffet. It is the capstone to the Baking and Pastry of Science degree. It is a student-driven capstone. There are 6 days of instructor-driven content produced in small groups, followed by 8 days of individual production of the 4 custom pastries they will be serving at their senior buffet. The midterm for this course is a cooperative feedback test run. So 2 of the 4 products are produced. Feedback is provided by myself as well as all of their classmates. And then that feedback is used to adjust and perfect the products before served on their final buffet. The final buffet is for friends, family, students, faculty. The students invite anybody who has supported them over their last 4 years, as well as freshmen coming into the program to showcase what our bachelor's degree is all about. What goes really well in my class currently is the engagement. The content's industry relevant, it is career relevant, it is honing on skills that they need for their career path. They get immediate one-on-one feedback from me during the class while they're producing. They self-identify and fill their own knowledge gaps by choosing production items that they don't understand as one last chance for them to fill these gaps before they leave. I embrace mistakes in my classroom, and they are important learning tools. You cannot hone skills without them. So they are respected, they are not penalized, and they are used as important learning tools. Students make their own production schedules daily. They are responsible for the order of the production, why they're doing it in the order they are, and how their production relates to their partners and their timetable. All the aspects of my class are formative, whether it's production or assignments. Feedback is given and the thing is done again. And that builds towards all the final products, both practical and academic in my course. Quizzes are given as tools. They are unlimited attempts, highest grade sticks, again for self-identifying those gaps and filling them in academic content. I coach, I don't lecture. It is a flipped classroom model. The lectures are online. All day long, I will help them through their production. I will coach to what they need, one-on-one direct learning. There's a lot of student freedom, both in how they set up their tables, to how they approach their production, to how they write their schedules, to how they take their notes. It caters to individual learners. All my information is super easy to find. I put it all over the place. It is really bright and easy to find on the ULearn. I also reinforce it in the class on the board, and then I speak to it at the end of the day. There are some areas of opportunity within my course. The PowerPoint, for one, has no voiceover, so it is limited by the information interpretation from my students when they look at it or read it. The traditional summative final is about as effective as any traditional summative final, which is not very. The formula book has final pictures of the products, but not progress pictures or pictures of the individual components and what they should look like before they are built together. There's lots of advanced terms in my course. It is a senior course, so there are a lot of more complex terms. But even in my speech as a chef, I use some terms that probably aren't commonly understood. And there are a few videos offered as a different way to learn processes in my course, but they are offered by another JWU faculty who has a similar style to mine. So there's not a lot of versatility in the execution of these techniques. And quizzes, although they are multi-attempt, they are still quizzes, and again, limited by design. Using UDL guidelines, I have identified some solutions, specifically in the representation and engagement points. Adding a voiceover to the PowerPoints would help add additional information. It would help to aid in comprehension. It would give versatility with experiencing the materials and humanize the information delivery to the students. It'll also offer an alternative format that can help students access the information in a broader range of environments, whether they're driving or ironing or doing other things. Adding additional pictures into my formula books can help with the process to step-by-step criteria that they need to meet, what the products need to look like before they're put together, and it'll help convey those expectations to my students, and again, help meet all the varied needs of my learners. Adding a sheet of terms and definitions would help with checkpoint 2.1. clarifying vocabulary and symbols. I think it would be more inclusive for students who've had varied experiences with the content previously, those who may need a refresher, or those who didn't retain the information for any reason the first time around. Providing a simple reference sheet would help and support all my learners and allow them to self-identify and help fill those learning gaps as needed. Adding additional videos from varied cultures and varied languages and showing different approaches to essential, objective, and connected techniques would meet both checkpoints 2.4 and 2.5. This modification will help support learning from both the exposure to varied technical approaches and by offering a diverse cultural representation of the products, languages, and explanation. I would like to thank UDL and Checkpoint 7.2 in engagement for being the reason that my course no longer has a summative written final. All of the objectives are now much more accurately gauged by the students producing a pastry book of their 4 custom desserts. The booklet is modeled after the course production book, and they will be able to use it for the rest of their career. Well, this is one small step for my BPA course, but what does this mean for the future? In the future, I want to have lots more examples of everything in my course. I want to show what the expectations are in as many ways as possible to give my students clear guidance. I want to connect Instagram and social media into projects, into inspirations. I want it to guide their creativity. I want it to make them try new techniques. I want them to push me and pressure me to learn more techniques. I want more interactive academic modules, those kind of training modules where halfway through the content you do a little check-in and see if the information stuck before moving forward. I want to share my ideas in a formal way with my department and brainstorm with my colleagues in ways that we can include UDL in our courses, and maybe they come up with some more relevant tools to interpret into lab skill. I want more inclusion in so many ways. I want my neurodivergent students to feel comfortable. I want my culturally diverse students to feel comfortable. I want my learners who don't like to speak up and want to hide and just produce to feel comfortable next to the ones who like to talk loud the whole time. I want to find a way to include them all. And finally, I want more options for showing comprehension without creating more work for me in the grading aspects. I want to give them more options to show they understand. This UDL fellow has showed me how to better help my students. It's opened my eyes to my group of varied learners, those identified with accommodations, those who are neurodivergent, those who just need a more visual approach, a more auditory approach, options for their lifestyle. It's empowered me to be able to give tools that support all of these varied learners. It's introduced me to this amazing group of faculty who have that same passion and drive I do to support all of our students better. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, everyone in the UDL Fellow, for your inspiration, community, and support. I am going to try to get the faculty that covered my classes during the Zooms, that helped me with all the balls I dropped while I was focusing on the UDL, and get them to sign up for next year.